You can stare at the stars all you want. They won't blink back. But what if they did? What if one single book held all the secrets of the universe and the key to preventing its collapse? What if I told you there's a place where nobody disappears except everyone? Let's go to that place. Welcome to the truth behind Map of the Stars. Stare at the sky long enough, and it starts staring back. Part 1. Darkness Before Light. This is a story about a man named Dr. Samuel Warren. Samuel was a book lover, which made it even stranger when he discovered a peculiar scroll inside a book. He flipped through its yellowed pages until his fingers brushed against a fold in the paper. He unfolded it slowly and found a strange map of the stars. It wasn't like any map he'd ever seen before, containing constellations unknown to science. As he stared at it, he felt a strange pull towards something unseen. He didn't know this yet, but the map contained the layout of a forgotten tunnel beneath Chicago. A tunnel that led to a realm beyond human comprehension. A place where the dead walked and the stars had voices. Years ago, someone had crawled through that tunnel, but they never came back out. Now, Sam wanted to be the first person in a very long time to see where that tunnel went. Samuel packed a bag for what would probably be a very long journey. He grabbed his trusty flashlight and a hammer just in case. He found the entrance to the underground tunnels by the shore of Lake Michigan. He hit his flashlight on the wall and crawled through the opening. He emerged in a cavern filled with hundreds of other tunnels. It looked like the inside of a honeycomb. And following his gut feeling, Samuel entered the longest tunnel. On the other side of the tunnel was another chamber, but this one looked different somehow. The ceiling seemed closer. The air was warm. He could hear a gurgling sound echoing from somewhere ahead. And when he stepped out of the tunnel, he realized why. He stood in a huge cave filled with water. But the real shock wasn't the underground lake. It was the giant, bright star shining from directly above. It was so close, he could touch it. As he reached out, the ground rumbled and cracked. Samuel slipped, falling backwards towards the hole he crawled through. The tunnel was gone. The map was gone. The only thing left was the star. Then the water started rising, pulling him under and taking him away. Part 2. The Thinking Mirror. Months after her father vanished, Emily Warren still hadn't given up hope of finding him. She returned to his study and sifted through his belongings, hoping to find some clue to his whereabouts. Among his notes and research papers, she discovered a diary. As she flipped through the pages, she noticed a pattern. Each entry ended abruptly, as if her father had been interrupted mid. But the strangest thing was the dates. Her father had written about the same day over and over again, the day he disappeared. Confused, she decided to spend the night in her father's study. Maybe whatever happened to him could happen to her, too. And perhaps if she experienced whatever had taken her father, she would know how to get him back. In the middle of the night, while reading a book by the dim glow of the fireplace, Emily noticed something. She turned around to double-check, but the object was still there. In the corner of the room was an old, dusty mirror. It was covered with cobwebs and looked like it hadn't been dusted off in years. Curiosity overcame her fear, and Emily got up to take a closer look. As she touched the cold glass, the mirror suddenly glowed. Emily gasped and pulled her hand back, but the damage was done. Her reflection blinked. She blinked back. Then everything went black. When she opened her eyes, she found herself lying on the cold stone floor. Emily got to her feet and brushed off her dress. The room was dark and silent. She couldn't hear the crickets chirping outside or the wind rustling through the trees. It was as if the world had been muted. She called out for her father, but only an echo answered. Confused and scared, she stumbled towards the fireplace, where a small fire had been burning earlier. She picked up a poker and hesitantly poked at the flames. Instead of crackling, the fire hissed. As if in pain, she screamed and dropped the poker, which landed with a hollow thud. Then the most terrifying thing happened. Her scream echoed back at her, but it wasn't her voice. It was her reflection's voice coming from inside the mirror. She rushed to the mirror and stared at her own face. Her reflection stared back, its eyes glowing an eerie red. Then the unthinkable happened. The reflection reached out a hand and touched the glass, shattering it. The pieces fell away, revealing the creature standing behind them. It looked vaguely human, but its skin was ashen gray, stretched tightly over its bones. Its eyes burned like molten gold, and its mouth was a gaping void, filled with sharp, jagged teeth. Emily screamed, turning to run, but the creature was quicker. It lunged at her, and she felt searing pain rip through her body. She collapsed to the floor, and the creature leaned over her. It whispered in a raspy voice, "Time to come home now, little star." Then everything went black. Part 3. Flesh Beneath the Stars. Back in Chicago, strange things were happening. People were going insane after looking at the sky too long. Their veins glowed faint blue at night, as if something was pulsing from within. One night, a frail elderly woman approached Emily. In a hushed voice, she said, "It's eating us. It starts in the mind. It feeds on our thoughts and memories, leaving us empty shells. Then it takes our bodies, too, from the inside." Emily knew she had to do something, so she visited an old abandoned observatory to use its telescope. She peered through the lens and saw the familiar star shining brightly in the night sky. Just as she was about to turn away, she noticed something strange. The star was surrounded by a faint mist, and she could hear a whisper coming from it. Something was living inside the star, and it was watching her. Emily took a step back, bumping into something solid. She turned around and gasped. It was a stone floor arranged in the shape of constellations. She traced the lines connecting the dots, and a jolt of recognition shot through her. It was the same map her father had found, the map leading to the tunnel. Then she felt it. A strange sensation, like the world itself, was tilting. She checked her phone and noticed the date had changed. She had traveled back in time, back to the exact night her father first saw the star that was never meant for human eyes. And as the minutes ticked by, Emily realized something horrifying. She wasn't just observing the past, she was a part of it. She took a deep breath and tried to calm herself down. If she could find her father, she might be able to stop whatever had happened to him. But as she moved through the crowd, she noticed something disturbing. Everyone seemed trapped in their own worlds. No one acknowledged her presence, and their eyes held a distant, unfocused look. It was as if they were seeing something she couldn't. She saw a woman turn to a man and say, "Do you remember the first time we met? You were so handsome, I knew right that." And then the woman stopped, mid-sentence, her eyes glazing over. She turned back to the man, but the life had drained from her face. "Who are you?" she asked blankly. The man recoiled in horror. "How can you not remember? Everything was perfect. The music, the way we danced, the moment our eyes met across the room." The woman shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "Sorry," she whispered. I don't know you. The man crumbled to his knees, his face contorted in pain. Why? Why are you doing this to me? He cried. The woman looked genuinely confused. I'm sorry, she repeated. But who are you? Emily witnessed this heartbreaking scene and understood the gravity of the situation. This creature wasn't just feeding on their memories, it was erasing them entirely. Entire relationships, friendships, histories were wiped away. The star was stripping them bare, turning them into empty husks. And she knew she wouldn't be able to change the past. She could only hope to prevent more people from suffering the same fate. So, she did something crazy. She joined them, walking into the street and raising her head to meet the creature's gaze. Part 4. People are not people. Stair doors. Desperate for answers, Emily sought out a secret group known as the Circle of the Sighted. They believed humans weren't individual souls, but doorways for something far older and vaster. They gathered in the ruins of an old church, their faces hidden behind dark hooded robes. As Emily stepped into their midst, a raspy voice echoed from above. You seek knowledge of the star and its whispers. Come, child. We will teach you. The robed figures parted, revealing a stone staircase leading into darkness. They descended into a vast underground chamber lit by torches set into the walls. Hieroglyphics covered every surface, and ancient texts lay scattered across the floor. In the center of the room sat a woman veiled in shadow. Her presence radiated power and wisdom. Welcome, seeker, she said, her voice like the rustling of dry leaves. We are the Circle of the Sighted. We have watched the star for generations. We have heard its whispers, and we have learned its language. Emily approached cautiously, drawn to the woman's enigmatic aura. I seek knowledge, she whispered, the ability to understand the star's language. The woman nodded slowly. Knowledge is a heavy burden, child. Are you sure you are ready to bear it? Emily hesitated, her heart pounding in her chest. I must try, she murmured. The woman reached out a gnarled hand, her touch sending a jolt through Emily. Very well, seeker. We will teach you. But know this, once you have seen what we show you, there is no turning back. Emily took a deep breath and stepped forward, ready to unlock the secrets of the star. But what she learned shattered her reality and left her questioning everything she had ever known. The robed figures closed in, their faces obscured by shadows. Listen carefully, child, rasped a voice. What you are about to hear is not for mortal ears. The star is not a celestial body. It is a living being. It is the mother of all doors. Another voice whispered, each human is a vessel, a doorway for the boundless entity to enter and explore the tapestry of existence. As Emily absorbed this revelation, the woman in the shadows spoke again. To truly understand the star's language, you must become one with it. You must offer it a sacrifice, something precious, something that binds you to your humanity. Emily felt a chill crawl down her spine. What do you want from me? She whispered, her voice trembling. The robed figures exchanged uneasy glances. An eye, rasped one of them. An eye for an eye. The woman in the shadows nodded slowly. You're watching. I must become one with the star. Only then will you truly see. Emily hesitated, torn between her desire for knowledge and the cost it demanded. But the choice was taken from her hands. The robed figures surged forward, their eyes gleaming with fanaticism. See, is the will of the star, they chanted, the sacrifice shall be made. And in that moment of terror, Emily realized the sacrifice had already begun.
Part 5.
When the sky splits, just as the figures reached out to take her eye, the room suddenly erupted in chaos. The torches flickered and died, plunging the chamber into darkness. Screams echoed through the tunnels above. And then every light bulb in the city exploded, showering glass and sparks across the night. A colossal black star emerged in the sky, draining the world of color. As the sight of it drove people insane, Emily shielded her eyes, fearing what she might see. A voice boomed in her mind, shaking her to her core. The mother has arrived. Suddenly, the ground trembled. Emily stumbled, crashing to her knees as the figures vanished in the darkness. And then she saw it. A door formed in the fabric of reality, swirling and beckoning from the sky. From it emerged a towering figure, wreathed in darkness. Its eyes, twin voids of infinite sorrow, gazed down at the city. With a voice that shattered mountains, it boomed, "Who among you remembers their mother?" As its gaze swept over the city, every person who looked upon it forgot their mother's face, her name, even her love. Their minds blanked, their hearts hardened, and they became vessels of emptiness. And so it continued, searching for those who remembered. Those who remembered, loved. With each soul it encountered, the door grew wider, hungrier, thirsting for connection in its unending void. Part 5. Every person is a sky. Emily raced to the desert, driven by a desperate hope to find her father. As she stumbled through the shifting sands, she saw it, a shimmering pool of water in the distance. She ran towards it, collapsing beside it, exhausted. But as she looked into its depths, she saw not water, but the fiery red glow of countless eyes staring back. Horrified, she recoiled, realizing she wasn't alone. From the lake, her father emerged, his eyes vacant, his skin stretched, taut over his bones. Beside him were others who had vanished, drawn to the lake by an unseen force. Yet they seemed peaceful, their expressions serene as they floated with open eyes, staring at the sky. Then she saw the full horror of her discovery. The lake wasn't just a place where people went to disappear. It was a graveyard of souls. And the door that had swallowed them whole was still waiting, patiently watching, ready to claim more victims. Emily fled, racing back to the observatory. There, amidst the constellations, she found the answer. The door wasn't in the sky or the earth. It was in the human heart. And every heart that had ever loved was a weakened door. That's why the creature always chose lovers first, seeking the strongest bonds to break. And as Emily understood this, the room around her transformed. The floor rippled, the walls pulsed, and the air crackled with energy. The creature had been watching her, waiting for her to comprehend its language, but now it was too late. The sacrifice was unnecessary. She had learned the truth. Light poured from Emily's skin, intensifying until she was nothing but a brilliant star. In her dreams, she soared through the cosmos, a beacon of pure energy. The sacrifice had been made. The map was complete. And then she understood. She wasn't chosen to be sacrificed, she was the chosen one. The creature had been waiting for her all along. It hadn't come to devour her. It had come for her help. As the sky split and the door beckoned, Emily